Well, good afternoon from Florida. It's time for the Real Estate Focus Group. I'm Chuck Vosberg, along with my lovely wife, Pat. We're your friends in Florida, and today we're very fortunate to have a national speaker and instructor. If you're in the world of Canva or ClickFunnels, you will have heard this name, and she's a dear friend of ours. Today we've got Alyssa Aviles, and Alyssa, thank you so much for joining us today. I'll let you take it from here.
Awesome. Thank you so much, you guys. We love Chuck and Pat. They helped us get our house here in St. Pete, and we're so grateful for them. They made the whole experience easy, and they're good friends of ours too. Like, we do life together, which is awesome. So today I figured I'm probably going to talk more about Canva than ClickFunnels for you guys. I think if anything, if you want to learn more about funnels, we'll kind of pull that in on another session, because there's a lot when it comes to Canva and then the funnel side of marketing and things, and you can use both of them for real estate wherever you're at. And I feel like for most of you, you are going to want to probably use Canva a little bit more. So I wanted to kind of see, are any of you guys currently using Canva? Are you familiar with what Canva is? I see a few head nods, and feel free to post in the chat, blow up the chat. That's totally cool with me. I love seeing comments in the chat, and I can help answer questions and whatnot in the chat. So I think what we'll probably do today, because I know we have, I think, is it an hour we have with each other today? Okay, cool.
An hour, or whenever you run out of
okay.
what you want to talk about.
Awesome. I think what would be the most beneficial, how many of you guys are kind of newer to Canva, or maybe you feel a little overwhelmed with Canva, like you're not really sure what you can do? Okay, good. So let's do this then. For this session, let's focus on Canva. Then maybe I could come in and talk a little bit more about ClickFunnels and what funnels could do for your business, because I would love for, at the end of this hour, for you guys to feel really confident about designing your first graphic in Canva and then creating something for social media for you to be able to post by the end of today. So what we'll do is I'm going to do like a little crash course with Canva, so you guys can kind of see what Canva can do. You can see the potential. You can kind of get a very kind of far away glimpse at here's the system, here's the software, here's all the potential. And I don't want to overwhelm you guys, because there are a lot of different things that you could do inside of Canva. And I think that's where a lot of people get stuck, is they get in there and they're like, oh no, what do I do? You may not know all the capabilities and all the little things. So we'll kind of start with the basics, and I'll share my screen here in a second. I want to pull up Canva, and then I also want to pull up the Canva pricing page to talk about this. So if any of you guys are not familiar with Canva, let me share my screen really quickly. Do you guys see my Canva dashboard? Okay, epic, awesome. So for those who are not familiar with this is an online graphic design software. And don't feel overwhelmed hearing the words graphic design, because anybody can do this. I've literally taught thousands of people now how to use Canva, and they're confidently using it on their own. And what's great about Canva, it's one of their core missions and one of their core values, is that they want to empower everybody to be able to do design on their own. So sure, you could drop a few $100 with me or thousands of dollars with another designer, but this is so freeing to be able to have a software where you don't need to go to design school. You don't need a design background to create your very first graphic. So Canva does have a free plan that you could get started with. If you've never used it, I would encourage you to go ahead and do that. They have a pro plan, which is what majority of people end up doing. That's what I myself am on. They have a business plan. So if any of you guys have a team of people where you want to design, and then you want a few other people on your team to design things as well, you could do that. And then they have the enterprise for really large accounts. Now, if any of you guys are also in the education space, maybe on the side, or maybe you have a nonprofit on the side, you actually get Canva Pro for free. So you could go on here and you can apply for that. A lot of people aren't aware that if you're an educator or if you are in the nonprofit space that you can get for free, which is incredible. So the main differences with this stuff too, as I take you guys inside of Canva, is that the pro version just gives you access to more fonts, more photos, more videos, more elements, more templates, and things like that. But I know plenty of people that have started designing in Canva with the free stuff, and they're rocking and rolling and doing a good job there. So, okay, so what you're seeing right now is your Canva dashboard. And if you're new, it's probably not going to show anything here in the recents, but it should look pretty similar with the way it's showing right now. And I will give a little disclaimer. Canva has been updating their system and their software every few months. They have their next big event coming up here in April. So what I'm going to show you guys today might slightly look different a few months from now. However, as long as you guys get like the core structure of things, you'll be a-okay, ready to rock, still able to create your own graphics easily. So right here, we're looking at our dashboard, and it very simply says, what will you design today? And this is where you can tell Canva what you're in the mood to design for. Now, you can use Canva to design social media posts. You can use it to design business cards if you wanted to. You could use it to design real estate signage. I've done that for a few people in the past. You can do it for yard signs. You could use it for slide decks and presentations. That's another really popular usage of it. Like if you like hate PowerPoint like I do, sometimes I just want to throw my computer at the wall when I'm designing in PowerPoint because it can be so frustrating. Canva has a much easier way to do slide decks for teams, which is great. You can use it for Facebook covers, like anything that you could dream of design-wise, you could find a way to do it inside of Canva. They actually even give you the option to do custom sizes. So if any of you wanted to maybe design something that doesn't really have a standard template in Canva, you could actually upload your own dimensions and then build in those dimensions, which is really cool. But you can see right here, it kind of gives you the basics with, hey, do you want to do a presentation? If you want to do social media, it will then kind of do another layer of, well, do you want to do an Instagram post? Do you want to do a story? And what's great is it automatically gives you the sizing that you need for these things. So you don't always have to go look up the sizing for a Facebook post or look up the sizing for an Instagram story. Oftentimes they automatically update it in here. If any of you guys are on LinkedIn, you'll see right here, I could click on LinkedIn and it actually pulls in the LinkedIn profile cover size, the video. So, I would encourage you guys to kind of like go in here and look at the different sizes, look at the different templates, and look at the different things there. You can also go to templates up here and it's going to pull up thousands of templates for you. You could describe what you want. So you can see right here, it's actually automatically kind of bringing up what's relevant in this season for us. During Christmas, it had it had Hanukkah, it had Christmas, it had Kwanzaa. It will change depending on the season that we're in, which is really cool. But there's so many templates that you guys can easily get started with. So you could go here. I would encourage you, this is kind of similar if any of you guys are kind of playing with AI right now, the better prompt that you give the system, the better results you're going to get. So if you describe things with color, if you are describing the style that you're looking for, you're describing the topic that you're looking for, it will help you find a template to get started with. And then the other really important thing to note is Canva AI. They have an AI thing built into their system that actually lets you do a few really cool things. So it will help you design. So if any of you guys are like, I don't want to do the templates, I just kind of want to have Canva start the design for me and then I'll go in there and clean it up, you could actually tell Canva what you're looking for. So I could tell Canva to make me, orange business cards for real estate, and it would help set up the framework of that business card. And I'll show a few things. Sometimes, like with the AI, it takes a little bit longer and I want to utilize the most time with you guys. So I'm not going to show you in real time the AI stuff. I would encourage encourage you to kind of play with this a little bit more on your own. But it will let you put in a prompt and then it will help give you options and then you can design from there. It also lets you do image creation. So if any of you guys really enjoy doing like AI images and like really fun little things that you've kind of seen trending all around, I know you can do that in ChatGPT, but Canva also has a way to do it in their system as well. They have Canva docs. So maybe for some of you guys, if you wanted to make a fun little letter for your clients, maybe like a congratulations letter, or maybe you want to do just something really fun to celebrate them and getting their new home, you could actually have Canva create a fun doc for you where it will style it. It will also write the copy for you in your language, in your voice. Like, it can do all of that, which is pretty cool. Canva Code lets you create fun little apps. If any of you guys have heard the term vibe coding, it lets you kind of like come up with all sorts of things. So, for example, I've had a few clients in the nutrition space, and they've used Canva Code to create like macro calculators and protein calculators and water hydration calculators. So you might be able to come up with some fun things there if you want to come up with something that you could have for your business. And then last but not least, Canva AI does let you do small video clips. So they integrate with Google VEO. And if any of you guys wanted to do these like fun little animated video AI sort of things, I think it's 8-second clips that it gives you. You can play with that, and then you could go in the editor and kind of combine them and do fun things there. So I always kind of like to let people know, like, you can design on your own if you want to, and then you could also use Canva AI tools to do all this fun stuff as well. The other things to kind of note with your Canva dashboard is once you start designing, you're going to see all your recent designs here, and then you can easily click to open them up and edit them. And we're going to get in the editor here in a second. But the other important things to note is over here on the left-hand side is another menu. And this is more organizational sort of stuff. I'm not going to dive too deep into this. Maybe when we do, like, I'm going to do a Q&A for you guys and help answer any questions that you have. But you can organize your files. You can organize your folders within Canva. Another great thing with Canva is that it is downloadable on your phone, on tablets, and then on your computer. So it's an online-based thing. It automatically saves your content. What's great is sometimes I'll be out shopping and all I have is my phone, and a client might be like, oh my gosh, Alyssa, my nickname is Liz. That's why you see Liz there. They'll be like, Liz, I need to change this thing on a file, and I don't have the link for the file, and what do I do? And I'm like, oh, no problem, I got it. I'm able to easily access Canva and send them what they need, or I can even change it on my phone and send them what they need, which is insane because typically in a traditional graphic design way, which many of you have probably already dealt with this before, traditionally you would have to like message a designer and then wait for the designer to respond back, and then you have to pay them to make the revisions, and then you have to like wait for them to do the revisions, and then you get it back, and then you're like, oh no, there's a mistake, and then you have to go back to them to do the revisions again, and then like days have gone by before you even get what you need. I don't know if any of you guys have had that happen, but even as a designer myself, having hired other people, I've had that happen. It's so frustrating. So Canva really removes a lot of these issues that you may have, and it helps you do things a lot faster as well. Now, other cool things to note, this is a Canva Pro only feature. This is something that I probably find the most beneficial when it comes to working on teams. And I'm actually going to pull up, I'm going to go in my client account because I have the most brand stuff associated with him. So they have something called brand kits. Are any of you guys familiar with like a brand guide? Have you heard that? I'm sure you guys have a brand guide with, like, if any of you guys are all with Next Home and whatnot, or yeah, like you typically have your guides with like, you must use this orange and you must use this font style, you must use this icon, right? You have a brand guide. Well, Canva lets you create as many brand guides as you want in the system. So I have all of these different subsets of brands in this company, and they all have their own colors. They all have their own font styles. Let me go to the colors. These are better. You can upload your own colors. You can upload your own fonts. You can upload your own logos. And what's great is when we actually get into the editor, if I am designing something and I'm like, oh man, I need to pull an asset from, the next home brand, what I can do is I can click on my next home brand kit and it will pull up the colors and the fonts and the logos for me. In a few clicks, I can easily add that stuff to the artboard, which saves so much time, and it lets you collaborate with other people as well, which is incredible. So now let's go ahead and go into the editor, and I'll just use this client's account just as a good example. So I'm actually going to start a new file so I can kind of show you guys from scratch what it's like. I'm going to just go ahead and choose presentation. This is the one that I probably use the most often, whether I'm designing presentations for other people, or this size is also great for like computer backgrounds if you guys want to make your own wallpapers and things like that. So now we're inside of the editor, and this is the fun part. Well, at least it's the fun part for me. Sometimes people get really overwhelmed at this part, but I want you guys, like whenever you enter this part of the design phase, I want you guys to get excited about creating things and the potential of what it's going to bring once you design it and you get it out into the world. So we've got our editor here, and at the top, I would always encourage people to save like a name, have a name for your file. So I mean, for this one, I could just say like real estate demo file. I mean, that's like a horrible name, but like, for your actual thing, you can put as many keywords as you want. That's going to help you be able to search the file months from now if you create something and you want to go back to it. Oftentimes people forget to do this. And what happens is, especially if they use a template, the file will keep the template name. And then they're like looking for it and they can't find it anywhere. So always make sure you do that. But now that we have this editor open, everything that you need is over here on the left-hand side. Design is going to give you some basic templates inside the editor that you could get started with. You could also use Canva's AI tool to kind of help you find different things here. So I could say, I want to do, oops, wrong thing. It would help if I actually have my cursor here. Okay. So I'm going to say orange real estate slide deck. And we're going to let it do its thing. See if it actually wants to work. Come on. This would happen. Of course, when I show you guys, now it's not going to want to work. Come on. Okay, well, apparently it doesn't want to work while I'm showing you guys. Normally what they would do is they would go ahead and do this. This always happens to me, you guys. Anytime I do training and I talk to people about Canva stuff, I'm like, it could do this thing. And then it doesn't actually do the thing. But normally what it would do is they would like pull up. I mean, you'll see here it does do some real estate stuff. It's not pulling it up in orange though. But what it normally would do is actually like give you design options in the orange. It looks like it did pick up the real estate keywords though. And it's kind of showing me all of these different presentations and all of these different slide decks. This one has a little bit of orange in there. This one has orange. Ooh, this is a good one. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click on this. And what it's doing is it's showing me that this slide deck template that it's given me actually has 10 different like design styles in this slide deck. So I could tell Canva to give me all the pages in the slide deck if I want, or if I want one page of this and I want to go to another slide deck and pull in another page, you can mix and match, or you could use what's actually here. So for now, I'm just going to go ahead and click on apply all 10 pages. And just like that, now it has a slide deck already built for us. It's modern, it's orange, it's clean, and then you can add in your logos. You can easily change the copy in there. You could put your own photos in there, which is really cool too. And then you could even present from Canva if you wanted to, or you could export the file as a PDF. There's so many different options that you could do with it. But this is what I love about Canva. It just makes it super easy. So if instead of the word property, you wanted to put the word hello, you just click and type in the word that you want to put in. You can also move things around. So, maybe if I wanted right now, it looks like the text is right aligned. If I wanted it left aligned, I can click on this. Now it's left aligned. And maybe I want to have it like centered. I could do that as well. So this is the cool part about Canva is that it really gives you the freedom and flexibility. It is a what you see is what you get type of software. So I always encourage people like once you kind of get the foundation of having a template in there and adding elements in there, then it's just like up to you to have fun and get to play and get to create and move things around. And what you're going to notice too is anytime you add text in, you're going to see options up here to change your font style. There's thousands of fonts that you can choose from, which is really cool. And if you're not sure what font to choose, they actually have subcategories here. So you can click on those subcategories and then choose from one of those. You can choose the sizing if you want to. You could also grab it by the corners and bring it down or bring it up if you wanted to. You can make it really nice and big there. You can change the text color. You can, add some decorum to it depending on the font style. It has all of these other little details, and I'm not going to go through every single thing because that would take us hours to do all of that sort of stuff. But at any time that you're adding different elements and different things in, you're going to notice this bar changing with all the different options that you can do. So I just clicked on this image. It's saying that I can click on edit, and now it's giving me like even more options with like textures I can do and photo adjustments I could do. This kind of adds a little bit of that Photoshoppy sort of stuff to it. So if I wanted to have like cool little effects and features, I could take a look around and see what they have to offer there. Now you'll notice that this photo actually already has the background removed, but let's just pretend we wanted to maybe upload our own photo in here. You can go to uploads, upload files, and you can add any of your own images inside of here. So maybe if you wanted a photo of you on there instead, and we're going to use my buddy Pedro for now because I have a bunch of photos of him here. I'm like, wait, I totally forgot I'm in his account right now. Okay, let me grab a headshot of him really quick. That would be a good example. There he is with Dean Graziosi. Let me see. There's one photo I'm looking for specifically. I think I have to go to the other folder and get it. Projects, folders, Pedro. You guys kind of get behind the scenes. Okay, this is the photo I want. Okay, so he got headshots done. I've got this photo with him with a black background. So as you see, right, we don't want the black background on here. So what's cool, and this is a Canva Pro only feature, I can upload this image. I could click on it and click on background remover. And within a few seconds, it will automatically remove that background for me. And now we have this. And this works as you saw with like homes, dogs, people, whatever it may be. It does a pretty good job of removing the background. I personally, I've tested this with Canva and Photoshop, and Canva quickly removes the background and actually does a better job cleaning it up than Photoshop does typically. So that's a really fun thing too that you can play with. So other cool things to note is, whoops, let me close this out. Okay, I had to scroll back up. My menu is going to look a little crazier than what you guys will typically see because I'm always like testing and playing with different things. But the first tab is design. So this lets you start with templates if you want to start with templates. The next tab is elements. And this is what lets you search for things inside of Canva to add into your artboard. So you can add in different shapes. You can add in different graphics. You can add in animations. You're going to see a few other things here like forms and sheets. Don't worry about that stuff. Canva does let you do very basic websites. They do let you do a version of, if any of you guys are like Excel folks or Google Sheets folks, you can do like Canvas sheets as well and kind of make them really nicely designed and whatnot. But for the most part with elements, I use this to pull in different shapes, and then I'll use it for other like random elements. If I'm looking for brush strokes or halftone grids or squiggly lines and marker lines and things like that, I would type it in the search elements area. So I'm actually going to do marker squiggly lines and see what comes up. Okay, so I type that in and now I can see here it has graphics, it has photos. Most of the time I'm going to use graphics. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And it has all of these different fun little marker styled squiggly lines. And I could find one that I feel would be, a cool little addition. So maybe this one is what I want. I kind of want to have that like kind of artsy sort of style to this. I could even move it, behind Pedro and behind the text if I wanted to. I could even lift it up if I wanted to. And anytime you see this color option, it's just letting us know that we can change that color to something else if we wanted to as well. So Elements essentially has a whole library full of different things that you could look for and you can use in addition to your design, which is super fun. Text is just letting you add text into your image, especially if you have a brand kit already set up and you have your fonts already set up. You can click on one of those things and it will automatically add it inside of your account. Brand is going to let you choose your brand kits and then apply those brand kit colors to your design. So we do something called the 31-day wisdom challenge. It's reading the book of Proverbs every day in January, just ended. So we had this like really fun, colorful palette. So if I clicked on this, you see how cool that is? Within one click, it took the wisdom challenge palette that I had and it changed this presentation to that palette. So if any of you guys are working with a brand and you have the brand kit already in place and you have a design that doesn't necessarily have all of your colors in, you can easily change it in one click. And then if you're like, oh, I don't know about that, well, we could click on it again and it automatically tries another variation. And again, it puts it in another variation, which is so cool because this lets you save time, but also if any of you guys are running ads, especially on Facebook is really loving different creative right now. And they really love very simple typographic ads right now. That seems to be very popular. So something like this comes in handy because if you guys made a very simple social media graphic with text and you want to try different creative, just try it with the different colors and see what happens, right? You could just do it within a few clicks, go through, change your colors, add to them. So that is a benefit of that is the Canva Pro feature, the brand kits and getting that set up. Uploads, like I mentioned before, this is where you upload your fonts, your photos, all that sort of stuff. Tools, I'm going to skip over because most people don't use it. I don't even use it. But if you wanted to use tools, this lets you kind of like draw on the artboard if you wanted to. It lets you put like little sticky notes. If you're like working with a team and you wanted to add like a little note for somebody on the team to change something, you could always do something like that and tag the person. That's probably a little bit more collaborative. Projects lets you organize stuff. And then the other cool thing that Canva has is they have a lot of different apps. They really pride themselves on partnering with other companies and having apps built into Canva that you can then like easily connect. Like, I mean, you can see it right here, easily embed videos into your design from YouTube. So if any of you guys have a presentation and you want to pull in a YouTube video into your presentation, there's an app for that. They have an app that connects with Meta that will help look over your ads and let you know if the ad has a good chance of like, if it's good, if it's too chaotic, it will give you feedback on the ad. It also has other fun apps in here. Like if you wanted to do a different styling for letters, they have an app for that. They have like a reflections app that I use sometimes. Like if I want something to kind of have like a cool reflective thing, I use it a lot of times for mockups. It has an app for that. And speaking of mockups, I get asked about this a lot. I think I'm going to show you guys how to do that today too. And I'm going to show you this really quickly. I know a lot of real estate agents will use QR codes on their flyers for things. And sometimes you might use a system like Bitly or something else. Canva does have a QR code app in here. So if you needed to add a QR code to any of your graphics, you could click on apps, you could type in QR code. There are a bunch of different generators. I just typically use the first one because it's the most simple. You click on that, you put your URL in, and then it automatically creates it for you and then adds it to the artboard for you. And then you can resize and change it as need be, which is pretty cool. Then the thing with the mockups, I do want to show this to you guys just in case you want to use this for any of your stuff. They have an app called Mockups. So I'm going to go ahead and type in Mockups. It's this first very minimal mock-up icon right here. And what a mock-up is it is going to give you a device or like a book or like a t-shirt or something. And then you could take your design and then put it in there. And so instead of you actually having to like print out the item or have the item and then take a photo of the item. Like this allows you to essentially just do this quickly and show people what they're going to get without having to go through that whole process. So oftentimes for me personally, I use a lot of smartphone mock-ups. Like I like to show people what apps will look like on here, what a website will look like on here. I also tend to use often like the computer mock-up. So, I'll put these on here and I'll just kind of change the positioning of them a little bit. I'm going to click and drag and hover over these to kind of move them to the side. And what you're seeing right now with this very Microsoft wallpaper-esque sort of thing, that's just Canva telling you that you can drag and drop something into this area as a placeholder. So I think I should have a screen grab, a screenshot somewhere here in my uploads. I don't know how recent I did it. Okay, like this one is a mobile screenshot. So I'm gonna go ahead and click and drag that over. And just like that, it just put in that mobile screenshot in that space. And then I could always play with it if I needed to make it larger. And depending on how I got the screenshot, I could refit it as need be. But then even with this, maybe I want to put in, this. This was originally a screenshot from YouTube. I just dragged and dropped that over, and now I have this in my computer mockup, which is really cool. So I use this like all the time. It's really fun. They have like iPad mockups. They have not everything is an Apple product. They do have some Android mockups if you want to do Android mockups. Sometimes they have it in different angles and things like that. So this could also be really fun depending on what you guys are designing or what you guys want to use Canva for. So, so many other apps that you can kind of go with and play with, but that is really like the core gist of what you can do in Canva, some of the features in Canva, all the different settings and things like that. And I could go even deeper into some of the fun little editing things if you guys want to see a few other little hacks, but let me take a pause. Does anybody have any like immediate questions, or do you want to see anything specifically in here? I would imagine you guys will probably mostly be using Canva for social media, but you could also use Canva to create a flyer for you. So I could type in real estate flyer, and then here we go. It has a bunch of different like home listing sort of things. Here's one: buying or selling a home. This could be to advertise you. Let's actually click on that. And then I'm going to do customize this template. And there we go. Now it has this open, and then I could just put in my information in there if I wanted to. You guys can actually see Canva does have a printing option as well if you want to print from them. Pretty cool, right? All right. So if we create a brand kit, how do we apply those settings to what we are making? Great question. So once you set up your Canva Pro account, I would encourage you to go ahead and set up the brand kit first. So you'll go over to brand and then actually, let me do this on my account. Let's go back to my team. You guys can see I'm on a lot of different teams. Okay. So you'll go over to the brand account, and then let's see. Over here, when you click on, yours will probably be new. You probably won't have any of these other brands listed that you've created, but you'll see an option that says create a new brand kit. You'll put in the name of your brand kit. And then I would go like one by one, putting in your logo, put in as many different variations of your logo too. Like if you have a favicon, if you have an icon, if you have them stacked, if you have them horizontal, I would put all the logos in, put all your colors in, put all your fonts in. Like I would go one by one and add everything that is approved in, so it's already in your system. Then once you're actually in the editor, and let me do the same thing here. Let me do real estate flyer. And I'm gonna do this same one. Let me close out all these windows. Now I have all these tabs open. Okay. So then once you have like your template started, or maybe you started with the blank canvas, you've kind of piecing together things on your own. You're going to see brand over here on the left-hand side, and then you're going to select the brand kit that you just created. And once you select that brand kit that you just created, I don't think I have one that has a bunch of different, maybe this one. Okay, so like this was for a lawyer that I worked with. Oh, we didn't put her other logos in there, but she had her icon. So as you can see, like when I clicked on her thing, it brought up her logos, it brought up her color palette. So I can click on this logo, it automatically adds it in, and then I could, replace this. Oops. I could replace this bottom section. I'm going to remove that whole logo with like her logo right there. Now, if I had the logo with her full name, she changed it and I never added the full one in here, but you see what I mean. In one click, I added the logo in. And then with the colors, I can click on this, the color palette, and I can say shuffle. And it was very subtle. I don't know if you guys saw that. It was super subtle, but it changed from the gray to this kind of like beige and purple text instead. And if I do it again, well, it's barely doing it. You can mostly see it right here where it's starting to kind of shift through those colors. I think the reason why it's not changed in the background is because this is the standard white that's in the background. I think if I had maybe a different color here, it would show up. But this actually brings up a good point. If you guys noticed, I'm clicking on the background, I clicked on the colors, and it actually has the brand kit here as well. So if I wanted to pull in this light gray, this light cream, it's so subtle. I don't even know if you guys can see it, but I can actually click on the brand colors here as well and pull those into the document as I'm building it out. Does that help? It's pretty cool. So I could go here and I could say, I want this to be the dark purple. And then I can click on the text and say, I want this text to be white. So that's where you can kind of go in and have fun and up level and change the design some more. I love doing the brand kits. It's like one of my favorite features. Awesome. Extremely useful. Thank you. Ah, no problem. No problem whatsoever. Does anyone have any other questions? Feel free to put it in the chat, or if you want to raise your hand, I can also answer questions live too.
Feel free to unmute yourself if you have a question.
Chris, did you have a question? I see something up top there. I'm not sure what that little one means, but it's on our page. I didn't know if Chris Hughes had a question.
She answered this one.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, if not, I'll keep on showing you some fun stuff in Canva.
Yeah, fun stuff.
Awesome. Cool. Okay, so some other like fun things that I use it for. I think I told you guys that you can print inside of Canva. So you could print your business cards in here if you want to. You can print flyers in here if you want to. Their quality is actually pretty good. It is a little bit more expensive than I would say Vistaprint or Gotprint or anything like that. But I will say the quality is legit. I do love that Canva takes pride in the work that they're doing. And I made a video a while back for Christmas. And when Christmas time is coming again, you can actually design your own custom gift wrapping paper in Canva. And then you can print it from Canva, or you could send it to Staples or somewhere local. And that might be fun for some of you guys if you're selling around the holidays and you want to give like customized gifts to your clients. That might be really fun to put your faces on it or the logo of the company on there. Or, for me, I'm obsessed with my dog. So I made my dog's name is Cosmo. So I made a cute little Cosmo Christmas wrap. So really, there's so many fun, let me see. I have it right here. This is like a little pattern that I made. I just made this square little pattern. And then I did this through CVS. So it made the full pattern. So like when I tell you guys, you really can create anything in Canva. Like there are so many different fun opportunities in here. And I have also done yard signs. You guys are going to laugh at this. Let me see. I think I have it on this account. Oh, maybe I don't have it on this account. Let me see. Skelly. I've got a 12-foot skeleton. And look, see, I didn't name it the way I should have named it. And now, of course, it's not going to come up. I probably named it something else, but like I've designed yard signs for our 12-foot skeleton for like, feel free to take photos with our skeleton. And so like you can do fun things like that. And actually, speaking of that too, let me show you how to export these files, because you need to know how to export them to be able to print these things. And then what I'll do too is I'll kind of show you guys how I also use Canva like links to show clients things when I'm previewing stuff. And maybe for some of you, you might want to create templates that maybe you could sell to other agents, or you can like sell in a marketplace if you're looking to make like a side income. A lot of people do templates in Canva and then sell those templates. So I'm going to show you guys that too. But we'll start with like the printing settings first. So I'm going to go back to this like real estate flyer. That's definitely not done. And so if I wanted to export this, I'm going to click on share. And this is where it's going to give us our options of downloading the file. We can share this file with other people. We can create what is called a public view link. So if you want the public to be able to view this file, but not necessarily edit it or change it, you only want to share it with them to be able to view it, you can create the public view link. This is also where you can create your template link. So let's say you turn this into a really cool template and you want to sell it to somebody else. You could click on template link. It's going to give you a customized link. And then you could sell that through, Etsy or any of these other places. You send people to that link and then they can add it to their account without touching your original file, which is great. Other things that you should know is, let's just pretend that I wanted to share this file with Pat and Chuck and I want them to be able to edit it. Typically, when you start to design a file, only you're going to be able to access this file. So if you need to add it, like add somebody else to it, you're going to click on anyone with the link, and then you're just going to want to make sure that it says can edit. And now I can click on copy link. I can actually post this in the chat and you all can go on this link and start editing and playing with it. So that's another really cool thing with Canva. And actually, if any of you guys do jump on here, this will be kind of fun. I'm going to show you what makes it really cool. So some of you guys jump on that link, click on that link. Okay, so check this out. So as some of you guys come on here, it will actually begin to kind of show me a few little icons. And if you have a Canva account, it might show your name on there. If not, sometimes like an anonymous animal or something will appear here. But what's really cool is, I don't know who is on here. Maybe it's Dan. I'm assuming with the D, maybe it's you. Okay, see, we got another little animal there. So what's really cool about this is, if any of you guys were to start clicking and moving things around, I could actually see it in real time on my end. Look, see? Isn't that cool? So, and then same with me, like if I started, kind of moving this around, you should actually see on my end, me moving this around and doing it. So Canva lets us design in real time and collaborate with one another. And that's another reason why I absolutely love this software, because it's like, man, like Chuck said in the beginning, I've worked with some very high level entrepreneurs, 7-figure, 8-figure entrepreneurs. And majority of the time, it's actually kind of funny. Most of these guys actually have really small teams. And sometimes like it's such a pain going back and forth and back and forth. And so with Pedro, for example, there have been times where I'm like, let's just do this slide deck together. And so I open the file, I send it to him, and he can be editing one thing, and then I could edit the other thing. And we can see each other's changes in real time at the same time. And then if there were multiple documents, so you can see here, I can add a new page. You could still work on this one, and then I could work on the second page. Hello. I'm just gonna, hello is my go-to word apparently. So I could work on this page, and then I could even see right here that you're still working on the first page. So this is a very collaborative tool. I would encourage, if any of you guys have family members who are helping you out, or friends helping you out, or you have a team of people that you're working with, or if any of you have a VA, this is where it gets really fun in getting to collaborate with other people. And if you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to share the file with them, you can always change the permissions and the settings to can comment or can view instead. And then you could let them manually do it. But it is a lot of fun when you get to let people edit the file and you get to see each other work in real time. So that's a fun little Canva tip for you guys. And then, I kind of barely talked about the photos and videos. So you can do video editing inside of Canva if you want. It's very minimal, but if any of you guys wanted to do, let's say like an Instagram reel, let me actually go back here. I'm going to go to social media and I'm going to do Instagram story. And then let me do real estate reel. Okay, here we go. So like this one has like house for sale. And then what you could do is you can upload like a quick clip of the house in the background, and then you could have like little details here. And so like Canva lets you create little reels, short videos. You can't do really long video editing, just a heads up. And personally, I wouldn't suggest doing long videos inside of Canva, but you can create stuff like this where you could have your own font on there, your own styling on there. And you could create something really quickly and fast within minutes instead of spending hundreds of dollars or wasting days and hours trying to get your content out. So you can do videos. Let me go back over here really quick. So they do have photos already built inside of Canva. They have a stock library. So if any of you wanted to do so like Pat and Chuck came to my Friendsgiving event, and if I wanted to, I could type in Friendsgiving. I'll go up here, Friendsgiving. And it's going to bring up like a bunch of different photos and lots of diverse photos. Like you could even type in, you know, if you're looking for a specific age or you're looking for a specific gender, specific race, whatever it may be, you can put as many keywords as you want. There are thousands of photos to choose from. And you'll even notice like anytime you see this little crown, that just means it's a Canva Pro only feature. But anything that doesn't have that little crown is it's for free. You can use it across, whatever. So they have so many different like photos that you can choose from and fun little things that you can choose from. I often use the photo section for a lot of like background textures, just to kind of like soften things up, or like if I want a paper texture to kind of layer in the background, I'll use a lot of the photos for that sort of thing, just to add different elements and whatnot. But I do want to show you, this is a really pretty photo. But I do want to show you a few other really cool features. So let me actually get a portrait of a woman. Oh my gosh, I keep accidentally getting out of that. Okay. I think I'm going to use this one. This could be very hit or miss though, but let's try it. I'm going to try this. Okay. I'm going to pull in that photo and then let me see let me do like portrait of, we'll say a real estate agent. Okay. I want to show you some really fun things, but I want to make sure I kind of find the right photo for this example. Let's do, not that any of you guys are walking around holding a little house in your hand, but we're also going to use this as an example. I'm just going to start a new thing there. Okay. Alrighty, so I'm going to start with this image first. So Canva has a lot of other like AI powered tools inside of their system for photos. And this would kind of, I don't want to say replace Photoshop because there's still a need for Photoshop depending on what you want to do, but it does allow you to do a few other fun little things. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the image and I'm going to click on edit. And I showed you guys before how you could do background remover, but you're going to notice anytime you have an image in, they have something called Magic Studio. And this is their AI powered tools to change backgrounds, and you can erase certain things in images. And you could, I kind of want to try this one. This background might be a little too complicated, but let's try it. I'm going to try their Magic Grab tool. So what this does, it's kind of scanning the photo and it's asking me, what do I want to grab in the photo and move around? So in this case, I might want to move her a little bit to the side. Maybe I kind of want her to go a little bit over here versus over here. Now this is going to be a bit complicated because of her hair. But just to kind of show you guys like the concept, and then you can kind of play with this in other photos. So it scans her, and what it will do is it will use AI to fill in the background. It's trying to figure out what's in the background. And now I can kind of move her to the side a little bit. Now this one, because the image was a bit more complicated in the background, it's a little bit more blurry than I would like it to be back there. It doesn't really know. This is very hit or miss. Sometimes it does an amazing job with it, and sometimes it's kind of like meh, like that. But now I can move her more to the side if I want to, which is really cool. And the other benefit is too, like it leaves that background in there. Oops, I accidentally dragged her to the other artboard. Okay, on it. But what's really cool is that it like filled in the background for me. I can move her over here. And then if I wanted to have like, yay teaching, because she's a teacher, we're just going to put in yay teaching. I'm going to turn this white if it wants to work. Okay, there we go. And then let me put this in like a taller font style. I'm going to put it in impact for now. And I'm going to bring in, there's a lot of spacing here, but I can have like the word yay teaching, and I could go to position backwards, and I could actually have it behind her if I wanted to. It kind of adds this like really fun little modern sort of thing. Now, of course, the word yay is kind of hard to read. So I could always go to effects and I could add a little lift to it. It just adds a little shadow behind the text, or I could even add an outline to my text if I want. This kind of makes it look like a meme. But you guys get the point. Like it lets you do kind of fun things like this. If you kind of start playing with something and you're like, oh, I want to add a little bit of flavor to it, you can kind of play around with the different effects and different things like that. So that's a really cool feature with Magic Studio. Let's do another one with this guy. And let me actually, I'm going to change the size of this artboard. So a fun thing that Canva recently added, in the past, when you created an art file, you could only have that one type of art file every time you create a page, but Canva just changed that. And so now what I could do is I could actually add in a square format in this art file. So I'm going to go to add page type, and it will actually let me add in a social media size in here, a document in here, a presentation in here. And where this is helpful for me when it helps with like marketing stuff is I can make one Canva file for a client that has all of their different needs in there in different sizes. And they could just take a look at that versus me sending them all these different links. But that always changes per person. For this, for the sake of this example, I'm going to just do a custom size for now. I'm going to do 1080 by 1080. It's going to make it a square. I'm going to bring this image over, and let me remove the background color. I'm going to bring this like right here. Okay, so other cool features with the editor is so I can change the background. So if I want him to the beach, if I want him to be at the beach, I'm going to click on this. And it's going to detect the background, and it should automatically put him at the beach. But we're going to see if it actually works. Let's see. You can do it, Canva. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so it's not perfect, and it has this like really weird dilapidated house in the background. But it, you know, it kind of got it, but not really. I think it detected the house in his hand, and that's why it's putting it there. So I could probably then tell it like the beach, no home generated again, and then maybe it would go ahead and do that. But you can like use the Canva AI for fun things like that. The other fun thing, oops, I didn't mean to do that. The other fun thing is that they have a tool called Magic Expand. And so let's say you add an image in and you're like, oh man, it's cropped in such a weird way. I want to add a little bit of room to the top and bottom of it. So you could tell Canva like to do the whole board if I wanted Canva to automatically fill in the bottom and the top. And we can see what it looks like. And I don't know how great it's going to do, but sometimes it nails it. And then sometimes it's just like a total miss. But okay. For some reason to put like him at a table, like this one's at a table. This one doesn't look half bad, but it is so random with like a plank of wood there. This one did the top pretty well, not the bottom as well. That one's okay. It's just the background's a little funky. So you see what I mean? But you guys see the point. Like it expanded the whole image. It filled in the rest of the background, but you will probably have to kind of play with it over and over again to get the result that you want. But that's kind of like a fun little feature too, if you wanted to like do anything fun with that. Okay, so just a quick check-in. Does anybody have any other questions? Is there anything else you want to see?
It's overwhelming.
There's a lot, I know.
It is. I have been using Canva and then I got away from it a long time ago.
Uh-huh.
And I had no idea all of the things that you can do. I did not have the pro version either. And
Okay.
the pro version is only 120 per year, which is like
Yeah.
nothing. I
Yeah.
had no idea it was so inexpensive
Uh-huh.
either.
And you can
You
write
know,
it off.
yeah, it's so inexpensive. And
Uh-huh.
I think there's a really big learning curve with this,
Mhm.
correct?
There is. But once you get in there, and this is what I always encourage people with, like just get in here and start playing. And once you kind of learn where the different things are at and you kind of learn along the way with like what it can do, you're gonna love it. Like there's been people that I've kind of done this little crash course with them. And then they at the end of, like afterwards they go and play in Canva for a few hours and then they'll email me and they're like, I created my first flyer and I'm having so much fun doing it. And like these people just keep on designing and creating and they're just having fun with it. And so that's what I would encourage any of you guys to do. Like I know this can be really overwhelming, especially when it's your first time and you still don't really know all the intricacies, but just go in and play. Like playing is the best way to kind of learn. I mean, even when we were kids, right? Like we go outside, we play, we fall down, we learn that we should probably be a little bit safer, you know? So like I always encourage people just like play with it. And you're not going to be an expert overnight, but you're going to learn and see fun things along the way. And then you're going to be like, wow, I can do this and I can do that. And it just kind of like adds on and adds on. And in full transparency, like I'm an ambassador for them and I'm still learning stuff with Canva and what it can do. So I would encourage you guys just to get in there and just start kind of playing around and see the opportunity, see what you could do with your business with this. And like Pat said, like, when you look at the grand scheme of things, like it's pretty inexpensive to pay 120 a year versus hiring a professional like me, where you could pay me 150 bucks to design a flyer for you, right? Like, and I could do it within 10 minutes, but like you could also do it yourself within a few minutes as well. So, yeah, that's a good point. So, oh yeah, no idea that Canva could do so much. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, there's a lot it can do. They only recently started doing the website thing where you could create your own website. They have recently added forms in. The Canvas Sheets is a new feature. They just added that last year, so you can start organizing and doing Canvas Sheets if you wanted to. A lot of the Canva AI stuff is new. And they kind of seem to be focusing a little bit more on the Canva AI stuff right now. They're trying to figure out like, and here's what I love about Canva, because I'm very hit or miss with AI. Sometimes I love it, sometimes I hate it. I really value human creativity and human first, right? I'm a human first girly. So what I love about Canva is that they are creating this in a way where it's not replacing human jobs. They still really value hiring humans. They still are really doing a human first approach. But they are finding ways to kind of like, how can we use AI to help make the designs quicker and help you guys get a little bit further faster, which is really nice. And they plant trees for like every design you create. They do a lot of philanthropic stuff too, which is pretty awesome. Great company. And they have an event once a year. I would encourage you guys, if you have the time, you want to have some fun, go to their event. It's in Los Angeles this year. I think it's in April. You can learn a ton of stuff there. They're constantly partnering with new brands and new things. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen with it. But yeah, there's a lot that you could do here.
I have a question for you. Do you do one-on-one classes for Canva?
I do
Training.
like tutoring. Yeah, tutoring and training. So, if any of you are like, hey, like I want to spend an hour and actually do this stuff, I do have sessions for that. And essentially what we do, I do it with you. So kind of like what we're doing right now, where I I give you guys this file and I'm like, hop in and start playing. Like we do that where I can see you designing in real time and I can guide you along the way with, okay, you're going to do this. You're going to click on this because I want you guys to kind of get in the habit of like knowing where things are at, clicking on certain things, doing certain things. So I do that as well.
And Alyssa, would you put your contact information in the chat, please, in
Yeah,
case
sure.
anybody wants to get hold of you and get some private training or consultation? And wow, this was absolutely awesome, Alyssa. I can't thank you enough for joining us
You're
today.
welcome.
It was incredible. And if you miss Alyssa's contact information on there, of course, y'all can contact Pat or I, or go on to the Real Estate Focus Group Facebook group. Well, that's a tongue twister, and just post it there, and we'll make sure we point you in the right direction. So thanks again so much, and I hope y'all have a wonderful day.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for listening to me nerd out about Canva.